Now, the European Union approved an historic €1.8 trillion budget and stimulus package. That's after the bloc resolved the standoff with Hungary and Poland, who were threatening to veto the plan over conditions surrounding the money. And in the last few minutes, leaders also committed to a 55% emissions cut target by 2030. That is against 1990 levels. That has sent the EU carbon price to a record high. It'll cost companies now more to pollute, increases the incentives to reduce that pollution then. Joining us now from Brussels is Bloomberg's Maria Tadeo. You can already see the climate impact there. Let's start with the budget conversations then, Maria. A landmark agreement over the European budget and rule of law. Give us those details.
Yes, Anna, we know there has been an agreement now on the budget for the next 7 years for the European Union, but also most crucially for the European Recovery Fund. So it will be operational by the start of 2021. There is that 10% upfront payment that gets done in April, and then the flow of money really to kickstart and be started in the second half of the year. That is a huge relief for Italy. It's a huge relief for Spain, and it's a big victory for Angela Merkel. She was hands-on on this and was able to broker a compromise that doesn't really change the language around rule of law. So it really is a big victory for the Germans, who are now leading the presidency of the European Council. They wanted to end on a high note, and you could argue so far they have done that. It's also a climb down for Viktor Orban, who threatened a veto on this. Ultimately, he says he's achieved everything that he wanted. But again, as I mentioned, if you look at the actual word and if you look at the document, not much actually changes from now to that document that was agreed to in July. He said he had a huge problem with that. Well, now it seems it's gone away with just a few assurances from Angela Merkel.
So they've dealt with the Hungary-Poland issue. Merkel has to some extent. And now it looks like they've dealt with the climate issue. They've agreed, to increase the reduction of carbon from 1990 levels to 55%.
Exactly. So they bring that to targets that they wanted to get in 2050. Now they're going to do that by 2030. Now, it was the Polish prime minister who has been blocking the talks for all night. And I would say European leaders are still very much at the European Council. They're still in that building. They haven't slept for 19 hours now. And really, it was about the Polish blocking that agreement over coal. They worry about their industries. They worry about what that could do to their economies, and that push for greener. Of course, they say they need more money for that transition. But overall, you could argue the Europeans are going to be happy today. It's all about the Green Deal. It's all about cutting the emissions.